Multileaders. Let's take a look at some other types of text that we can add to our drawing. A multileader is another form of an annotation. Let's see where those are at. Under the annotation panel, you can see the icon here for a leader. If you pull out this menu, you can see we have leader, add leader, remove leader, align, and collect. We'll explore all these options shortly. Let's come over here to the Annotate tab, and as you can see, there's a panel here for leaders. Again, we have a multi-leader, add leader, remove leader, align, and collect, as well as some type of styles, annotative and standard. We'll look at these in a little bit as well. Okay, let's explore multi-leaders a little bit. Let's activate the Multileader command by selecting it. Once it's selected, you'll see at the bottom of the command line it says mleader. This is what you can type into the command line if you want to activate it that way. Or you can specify the leader arrowhead location since we already have it activated. We also have additional options here. The leader landing first, and content first, and options. By default right now it's set to options. But let's go ahead and just specify the arrowhead location. These are the three objects that we were working with so far with our text. Let's go ahead and create a leader to this object here. I'm going to snap it to this location here. I'll drag out a bit, and now it says to specify the leader landing location. I'll explain what all the arrowheads and landing and locations and all those words mean in just a bit. But I'm going to place mine right here. Now all we have to do is type some text. Here you can see we have a text height in the style. We have formatting, paragraph, insert, spell check, and some more tools and options here. This is very similar to the multi-line text that we've already been working with. So if we type some text now, this is the height that it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and change that. And let's see how big this is. And as you can see, that's very large text. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, pan over a bit, and I'll go ahead and adjust the text size one more time. I'll go ahead and highlight it and make sure it's accepting my text size. Zoom in, and there we go. Now that's an appropriate text. So don't be too worried if you accidentally enter the wrong text like so. You can easily change it back. I'll go ahead and accept this by pressing enter after I make sure the text is not highlighted. And you can see this functions just like a multi-line. You can't exit by doing two enters like a single line text. I'll go ahead and backspace and click close up here in the top right corner and close text. And there we go, there's our text. But as you can see, it's actually a lot smaller than we thought it was. But that's okay because we can still adjust it. First, let's see how to move it. You can go ahead and zoom in, pan with the middle mouse wheel. We'll select it, and now you can see we have 1, 2, 3 grips. Let's go ahead and grab this grip here. Move it down and release. We can also move this grip here to wherever we want to move it to. I want to snap it to the midpoint. I'll go ahead and click there. I'll hit escape to deselect, and there's our multi-leader. So now let's go ahead and edit this. I'll double click on the text. I'll highlight it one more time, and this time let's give it a value of 1. I'll go ahead and push tab. Go ahead and hit Control Z because I made a mistake. And instead of hitting tab, I'll just make sure to click on another field to make sure that we're getting the one that we want. 1, and then enter. I'll hit escape to deselect, and it says, do you want to save these changes to my text? Sure, because I just made the changes right now. I'll go ahead and save it, double click to put everything in zoom, and there we go. So let's take a look at a little more detail in what this multi-leader actually is. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to this rectangle, and as you can see at one corner we have an arrow. This is the first location that we specified. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, pan over a bit, and this point here was the second point that we specified. This is the landing. Attached to the landing is this M-line text. a multi-line text. As you saw, we can go ahead and edit this text by double clicking. We can adjust the grips if we select it, like so, here and here. We can also use this grip too to stretch out and make the landing a little bit longer. I'll go ahead and deselect. So let's try another method to create a multi-line. I'm going to double click to put everything into view, activate the multi-leader, and this time I'm going to put the landing first. I can also access this by right clicking and going to leader landing first. Now it says to specify the leader landing. I'm going to go ahead and pan over, and I'm going to click here, and now I can specify where the arrow is going to head. I'm going to put it here at the midpoint, and I'll continue to type. And again, if I push enter, enter, and enter again, that will not exit me out of the text. I'll go ahead and delete these, come up to the top right corner, close, and close. And there you go, there's my text. Again, it's not the size that I really want, and it's pretty small. We can go ahead and double click on it, and we can see we have the 1.8 or the 0.18 for the size. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as this for now. Whenever you create the multi-leader, let's go ahead and activate it now. Always pay attention to what option you have first. By default right now, I have the leader landing location, which is what I used the last time. I can go ahead and put it back to arrow first and switch it back to leader first, or put arrow first, whichever that I need. You also have content first, so let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to pan over to the side towards this line. And now it says specify the first corner of the text. I'll go ahead and do that here. Specify the opposite corner here. And remember, we're doing a multi-line text, so we're specifying the width of our text box. And there you go. I'll go ahead and click on close and close. Now I can specify the arrow location. As you can see, if I move to the left or if I move to the right, it's attempting to place a landing along with the arrowhead as needed. I'm going to go ahead and snap it to this endpoint here. And there you go. Now you may be thinking it just looks like a line the whole entire way through. But if you zoom in, we also have the arrowhead, if you remember that we looked at earlier with the rectangle. We'll adjust the size of this later when we learn how to edit the text style for this. I'm going to go ahead and double click, put everything into view, and there you go. We've just used multi-leaders.